Hey, what's good, everybody? What's good? All right, we'll give a couple minutes people popping in here. We are streaming live. All right, cool. All right, y'all. My name is Rodney. I am going to be going over some business credit tips for everyone. Um, it won't be a very long call. I'm gonna just go through some of the basics, some main things you guys definitely want to think about and remember when thinking about business credit, getting started with your business, and making sure that you're structured out correctly. All right, let me see. Let me pull up my screen here. All right. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yep. I think we're good. All right, so yeah, we'll get started. So building blocks of business credit. This is definitely something you guys want to tap into. A lot of us are entrepreneurs and we want to start our business, or we have started our business, but we haven't done it the correct way. So I'm gonna just be covering a few things as to building business credit and the benefits, steps to building business credit, and what's worked for me over the past. So, like I said, why it's important? It's so important because not only can you keep it away from your personal name, using up a lot of your personal credit, but it allows you to protect yourself against things that could happen. You don't want people suing you and coming after your personal items. If anything, if something happens, you want them to be able to. You want your business to be protected. So also, when it comes to funding, a lot of times you can show more revenue on the business side than the personal side. So you're able to get higher lines of credit when it comes to funding. All right. So building business credit, there are over 20 credibility points that are necessary for businesses to have a strong, credible foundation. All right. The perception lenders, vendors, creditors have of your business is critical to your ability to build strong business credit. Before applying for business credit, a business must ensure that it meets and exceeds all standards. All right. So the business name, you definitely want to make sure that it's not on the restricted list. I'm sure you guys have heard this before. Anytime you're dealing with businesses like credit, if it's in your name, trucking, if it's in your name, it's considered high risk. So a lot of times banks don't want to do business with those type of businesses just because they've seen what happens in those industries, and it's too high of a risk for them. So ensure your business name is exactly the same on all of your papers. That's your EIN, your bank statements, your corporation papers, all of it. So just be sure to look into that as well. All right. You also want to make sure you have a business address, preferably deliverable physical address. Real brick and mortar is always the best type. Cannot be a PO box, cannot be a UPS address as well. So, address virtual offices are great places where you want to try to get your business address where they can deliver mail. A lot of times, if you look into shared co-working spaces, those are the best places to look at virtual addresses just because they are a lot cheaper than going through some of these bigger companies. Like Opus. If you look up Opus virtual offices, you'll see that they're about $100 a month or more, depending on the services you get. All right, so make sure you're findable, and that will help you become fundable. So you want the banks to be able to simply Google your name or pull up your information, so they can be able to see what's that you're a legitimate business, right? You also want to have a phone number. Preferably, they perceive a 1-800 number as a credible business, right? Instead of just having a local phone number. And here are a few sites down here below where you can look to get those phone numbers from. Also, you want to have a website, a landing page. If you Google level up automations, that is a good place to get you a website, a landing page built for your business. Like I said, you don't want to leave any blanks on the applications that you're filling out when it comes to funding or getting a bank account, anything like that. Definitely make sure you have an email. You don't want to have a Yahoo or Gmail or AOL account. Make sure it's a professional email. So the email address should be at yourcompany.com. So info at your company, or for me, like Rodney at yourcompany.com. So make sure you get that to make sure that you're considered legitimate. All right. This is where you can go to list your business, listyourself.net. And as you can see, they have a wide database. It's not cheap. I mean, it's a little cheap, $60 a year, but like I say, you'll be able to find your business on all the different platforms that people search. So that's very important to get done. All right, entity structure. We're not going to dive deep into this because that's a little advanced, but you definitely want to make sure that you get your EIN. It's just like having your social. That is, your EIN. It acts as its own person when it comes to running your business. Also, when it comes to filing taxes and being able to write things off and things like that. So you definitely need to have one of those. All right. On your bank account, your banking history is vital to your future success of being able to secure larger business loans. The longer your business banking history, the better your borrowing potential will be. Credit unions are the best banks to get larger lines of credit. Also, credit unions are the best banks for new companies. So if you have a new LLC less than 2 years old, you have a higher chance of getting more approvals when it comes to getting in through a credit union. All right, so you can also go to creditboards.com. It will tell you it's a website where you can find where lenders pull from. It's a community website where customers that have applied for funding, they update the community on what banks they got approved through, if they pull one bureau or two bureaus, what their credit scores was, all the details. So definitely check out that site. Very important. Of course, like I said before, there's three tiers of lending. You have the credit unions, regional banks, and national banks. So credit unions member owned, so they are going to have a lot more leeway when it comes to pushing that approval through, or being lenient on that one negative or two negative items that you have. Regional banks, larger than community banks, operates at the state level, and then you got national banks that's chartered by the U.S. Treasury at the Federal Reserve level. All right, and then you got bank ratings. This just tells you your business bank account reflects the strength of your company's revenue and how it manages cash flow. Lenders want to know that your business cash flow is capable of handling the business debt expenses and on a consistent basis. So bank accounts with a low average daily balance, or that's how many non-sufficient funds, return checks, things like that can get your loan application denied. All right, so building business credit, definitely look into some of these sites here. They have a lot of information on here. This is where you want to go to start building out your credit profile, to check your scores, see what your history is, see what accounts you have on there. NAV, Dun and Bradstreet, Equifax Business, and Experian Business are the four that you definitely want to go and look at. And then this just goes into details about Dun and Bradstreet, how they assign unique numeric numbers for each business. And then you got vendor accounts. So this is how you're going to kickstart and get jump started on that business credit, right? You have tier one, tier two, tier three. Those are the basics, the beginning steps to starting to build you a score and build relationships with a lot of these vendors that are out there. right? You can get products. Ideally, you want to get products that's directly relatable to your business or your personal life sometimes. So if you need tissue, pens, paper, things like that. If you're building business credit, definitely buy something that's worth having. You still have to pay these vendors back, so you don't want to waste money that your business hasn't made yet on a lot of things that you don't need. All right, so here's 17 vendor accounts, 17 examples of vendor accounts that can contribute towards growing your business. Number one, you got supplies. You can see them there: HC Supply, Uline. You got fleet management, fuel cards, BP cards, services, and you got promotional. So these are 17 accounts that can actually help you start building your business credit. All right. So after your 15 trade lines reporting to your account, you can begin to apply for cash cards. So remember that number: 15 trade lines reporting to your business business credit account. You can start applying for different cash cards, corporate cards. 90 paydex score. It's a great business credit score. 2 years in business, 15 trade lines. And if you have 15 million in revenue, that's when you get the corporate status. But until then, we'll be on this side, on the left side. All right, 15 corporate credit cards. So screenshot this. Definitely take a picture of it. These are corporate credit cards. Majority of them, about 90% of them, are no PG cards where you don't have to put your personal credit on. But they do have requirements, right? So, like for example, Divvy bank account needs to be open at least 3 months. Limits up to 400K. Reports to your business credit as a charge card. So whatever you use, you have to pay it off in full. Then you have Tarpago revolving credit. Bank account needs to be open 6 to 8 months. Reports to business credit. And Brex must have a minimum of 100K in a bank account, right? So you can see each one of them have different requirements. So that's why it's important that you're structured right and you start. Once you're structured right, you start building a relationship with these banks, getting the history on the age of the banks, things like that. All right, getting a business loan for a trade line. So, a business term loan that reports on your business credit report is a strong trade line that puts you on the radar of other credit providers and lenders. Getting your first business loan from a bank can seem like a very difficult task, but the majority of the business loan applications at banks can get declined because banks have much tighter restrictions on today's lending. So definitely look into Equifax Small Business and Experian Business for more details on getting business bank loans. All right, so we're not going to talk about CDs right now. All right, so building business credit, 680 credit score. So a lot of the banks want to see at least a minimum to get the best interest rates. 680 and above on all three reports. Um, Bank cards must be 2 years old, have at least a $2,500 limit or more, and usage under 35%. No late payments in 24 months, no bankruptcies, charge-offs, or collections. And also, if you need a cosigner, it can get you approved as well. So you get 5 times the strongest personal credit cards over 2 years old in the business credit in 2 to 3 weeks. So definitely make sure that your profile looks like this before you go apply if you want to get higher limits. A lot of times you can still get approved, but your limits won't be as high. All right. Some of the my favorite banks. I bank with 4 of these banks. So definitely screenshot this and take a look at these banks. All right. Here are their numbers and emails. Leave that up for a second. All right, and then that's it, guys. This my information is at the bottom down here. like I say, a lot of great details when it comes to building business credit. I didn't want to go. This is just where it starts, right? I didn't want to go directly into um, the once we get to corporate credit or we get into tier 5, 6, 7, and 8, because like I say, if you're a new business, you're going to have to build a relationship with these banks. You're going to have to deposit money, withdraw money. It's important that every single dime that you're making goes through that business bank account. Doesn't matter if you have to use 100% of it. They need to be able to see that the business is making money. So I'll leave it there. I don't see any questions in the chat, but I appreciate you guys popping on. We will definitely do this again. I think we got this scheduled for every few weeks, and we'll expand upon this some more on our next call. And you guys definitely join us at the Wealth Connect. Stay tuned. We got some personal credit gems coming up on our next call, and real estate and some more things for you guys. So definitely appreciate you hopping on, and I am going to end it there. All right, you guys have a great night.